Immerse a painting in a kitchen sink full of water. How would you like to see the result of that? And this is one of those techniques that is such fun. So I'm going to mark 4 dots into this square, which is watercolour 425 grams, 200 pounds, Saunders Waterford, lovely thick paper, and I've torn it into a square. So about 4 centimetres in, I'm going to mark 4 dots, about there. And then starting from the edge of the paper on the left, I'm going to draw a line like I'm going to have a border, like this little tonal sketch there. So I'm going to go from the first dot, so from the edge of the paper, doesn't have to be exact, all the way across with lost and found edges like this to my second dot. Then I turn the paper and again go from the left, from my second dot to my third dot. I could do it freehand, but I thought I'll do it with a ruler. Turn the paper to the left again and go from my third dot to my fourth dot. There. And then turn the paper again, go from my fourth dot. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, fourth dot back to the beginning. On the edge of the paper. There. Now I can decide which way round I'm going to have it. I might have it that way. Yes. So now I'm going to do a square inside this square, about 1 centimetre in. Again, I could use a ruler. I'm just going to do it like that. Shall I still keep it that way? Yes, I think so. Now I'm going to draw a vase, or pot, starting about 2/3 down, making it almost fill this square. Again, it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. And then bringing it round. It's just a guide. So that's that. And then I want to show you this little fellow here. I want to mark my light, medium and dark tones in. Tone is how light or dark a colour is. I'm going to be using lime green, which is semi-transparent colour, and alizarin crimson, a transparent colour. And so the white of the paper will be my third colour, as it were. So I've put white for the inside of the area in the square. So the vase will be left white. I'll paint round the vase. Lime green will be the outside. So I'm just going to put, that's my medium tone. And then my darkest tone will be the alizarin crimson. So this is quite important. This is the only studious bit in this video, to work out where to put your light, medium and dark tones. And then this will be a white area, this second border within the border. So for this technique, which is very easy, you need to mix up the paint very, very strongly, like a very thick cream consistency. So that's what I'll do now. I'm using 2 pea-sized amounts of paint, putting them into a well palette here, because it only works if it's a very strong paint in my experience. Got my hands in a mess now. There. And so I'm going to paint the border first. Just adding a tiny weeny bit of water, not much. Wondering if that's going to be thick enough. It really does have to be thick for this technique, so I'll add just a little bit more. Right, lovely. And simply paint the border. So easy, no pressure. Doesn't matter if you have a few nice speckly effects like this. This is quite a big brush. Number 10. Splashed here as well. And now I'm going to use the Alizarin Crimson. Making sure it's thoroughly mixed. Lovely and thick. There. You could use a smaller brush, but use as big as possible a brush so that it looks better, the result. Because this is all going to blend when it goes in the bath. But the main thing is to keep as much as possible the white areas when we pop it in the sink. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's quite nice if it's not quite perfect actually. That's why I'm not being perfect about it. Trying to not go inside the line, the pencil line, otherwise if it gets too small it loses its effect. So I'm going to leave that now to dry. It's bone dry now. I've just used an ordinary rubber to rub out. The pastel line was a bit heavy across the base in the white section area, so I've used pastel pencil because they rub out. This is a Faber-Castell pastel pencil and it rubs out to a large degree, so that's good. So it's best perhaps not to lay it on too heavy. And so now I'm ready to immerse my painting into this sink or old baking tray as I've got here. It needs to be completely immersed and then watched for about 30 seconds. And the paint will just start to lift and bleed, as it were. And when that starts to happen, after about 30 seconds, I'm going to lift it out. It's going to happen soon. Yeah, I can just see it on the bottom there. That section sets around across the top, so I'm going to get it out and tilt it to where I want it to go, trying to keep some white areas. That's lovely. I love the way the colours merge, the green and the alizarin. I like it like that. I could leave it like that. I think I might actually. It's so simple, this technique. When you're happy with it, lay it flat carefully on your artboard and see the transformation. You never would think it was the same painting. This pot has become a new pot. A rather more beautiful pot, actually. I'm just thinking I may tilt a bit off that top corner. But other than that, I think it's nearly done. Now you can see why it's so easy. It's a bit unpredictable. Oh, it's actually, I quite like that too. I could carry on, but I don't want to spoil. I want to keep that white section. So what I'm going to do is put that slightly in. I mean, I could let some run off there, but I think I like it as it is. And then when it's dry, we can strengthen it with Inktense blocks or coloured pencils, or actually I won't, but I was thinking of putting salt across. That would give different textures and effects. Little sprinkle of salt, but I don't want to complicate it too much. I quite like it with the effects that are there. It could become a bit too complicated and fussy, and then it will lose its impact. So it's just good to keep watching it settle when you do these little paintings, and it's a good way of loosening up. It can be a good way of loosening up before starting another painting of your choice. So I'm just thinking whether to, I think I will. I think I'm going to leave it now, let it dry, and then just finish it slightly with pencil. Yes, please do that. It's dry now, so I'm going to finish off with these Inktense blocks, and they can be used on wet or dry paper. I just want to add definition, so I'm going to, where shall I start? Bring that. In addition to Inktense blocks, I've used pastels. They are so popular and they're very hands-on, and it adds just a little bit of texture to complete the painting. I hope you like it and are inspired to have a go yourself. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video to enable more videos and 10-minute techniques to come. Thank you for watching. See you next time. What a great fun way of painting realistic abstracts with very strong paint, with just enough water to lift it off the palette. Simple and uplifting. Maybe little Ted could have a go. What do you think? Thanks for watching. See you next time. The sea was choppy as I stood in the exuberant crowd, watching the joy and laughter on the faces of friends baptized under and above the waves here in this beautiful Iberian country. That same week, submerging my paper into water, I reflect fondly on my own baptism at 14, wearing a black and white skirt and matching bag. 7 of us, one by one, descended into the church's tepid pool. I beheld a sea of up to 200 faces as I shared how Jesus had spoken to me so gently to follow him. And identifying with his death and resurrection to newness of life, baptism symbolises the cleansing of believers from wrong, receiving his love revealed by his death on a cross for all. Feeling too unworthy or broken by our circumstances, like a pot far beyond repair, God restores. Even the most broken pot, in a most wonderful way as we look to him. This is true for me, and I pray so for you too.